Follow-up, please. This is 2021. Situation online.
As it is a court, appearance for the state is as it was.
May it please you, my lord, I appear for applicants 1, 2, and 3.
May it please you, my lord, I'm still for applicant number 4 in this matter as before.
Here's the court, please, my lord. I appear on behalf of number 5 and 6 respectively as before.
As it is a court. Your Lordship, I think maybe just the issue of the oath for the witness.
Yes. Mr. Kanyangela, you are still under oath.
All right, Mr. Kanyangela, do you still have Exhibit Y before you?
Yes, I'm still having it.
Okay. Can you go to the forensic report on the pages where we left off? In particular, at page 258, where the court had a query, 255 and 258.
Ask for explanation.
Yes, the court asked for an explanation, Your Lordship.
Sorry, my lord, I wish my learned friend will not forget the other direction you gave, my lord, that the witness must identify the source of the earlier documents, my lord. I just don't want that to be omitted.
Nothing has been forgotten. I have a very good memory, Your Lordship.
Okay.
Are you there where we left off?
Yes, my lord, I'm there.
All right. Can you please provide an explanation with regard to those two transactions?
Okay, I would like to give the explanation in the total amount on table 198, which is an amount of 14,400,000 Namibian dollars. And the question was as to how this amount was arrived at. I just want to refer the court to page 245, paragraph table 196, 254. Excuse me, my lord. Page 254, table 196, which is reading payment from Nangoma Pesca Namibia, Pty Ltd to Otafika Investment. As per the table below, there is an amount of 2,250,000 that was paid to Otafika Investment CC. If we go to paragraph 10.50, the second sentence said, on the same day, a payment of 2,250,000 was paid to Otafika Logistics CC. Then we go to page 255, table 197, and payments from Nangoma Pesca Namibia Ltd to Otafika Logistics CC. In the total amount of 12,150,000 Namibian dollars. These transactions in this table are transactions of payments that were made from Nangoma Pesca Namibia directly to Otafika Logistics CC. The amount arrived at table 198 on page 258, which is an amount of 14,400,000 Namibian dollars, is a total amount of money that was paid to Auto Africa Investment CC, and the total of money that was directly paid to Auto Africa Logistics CC by Nangomal Pesca Namibia. So those two amounts, it will give you this amount of 14,400,000. That is my explanation, my lord, for that figure.
Can we move on? Thank you, Your Lordship. All right, and that diagram reflect how those funds were paid out?
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay. Can you just take us to the pages which are marked at the bottom as 297 and 298? The last two pages of that document.
Yes, I'm there, my lord.
There's a heading there, payments from Samheji Group to Kampadara Trust. It goes on to the next page. Can you just briefly inform us what was going on there?
Okay, as per my area testimony, I have indicated to this court that there was money that was paid to Kampadara Trust, and this money was paid to other accused persons or to the entities in which these accused persons are having interest. Okay, this payment, I can just explain the diagram on page 298. As per my area testimony, that an amount of 600,000 Namibian dollars was received from Samiri Group into Kampadara Trust. From the account of Kampadara Trust, there were payments made to Elongo Clearing in the total amount of 150,000 Namibian dollars. There were payment made to Ricardo Gustavo in the total amount of 50,000 Namibian dollars. There is a payment made to Mr. James Hatuikulipi in the total amount of 380,000 Namibian dollars. And as per the two blocks above, the payment of 150,000 that was paid into Erongo Clearing by Kampadara Trust was paid, a check was issued in the same total amount from the account of Erongo Clearing to Mr. Bernard Esau.
During which month of which year were these transactions taking place?
This transaction took place between the 4th of December 2012 to the 21st of December 2012.
Okay. And what is at the next page?
On the next page, there is a copy of the check which we obtained from Standard Bank. The check is dated 2012-12 12-21, which is the 21st of December 2012. From Standard Bank, Gustav Voigt Center, paying to DE Farming, which we came to know is the account of Mr. Bernard Esau. And the payment that was made is a total of 150,000 Namibian dollars. And this check was from the account of Erongo Clearing and Forwarding CC, account number 599084324.
Okay. The Lordship, there's a request for the check to be marked as an exhibit.
Yes, exhibit. I just want to. Y33.
As it plays a court. And what is contained at the next page?
On the next page, which is page 159, is an agreement of sale, a memorandum of agreement made and entered into by and between Rudolph Stephen Jordan and James Nependa Hatuikulipi, or nominee,
In respect of what property?
This agreement of sale is in respect of portion 1 and portion 2 of the farm Dorn Pan, number 542. Investigation revealed that this farm, or these two portions, were registered under the name of Olea Investments, number 9CC, the company or the corporation in which Mr. Shakis Shanghala and Mr. James Hatuikulipi are having interest.
Okay. Your Lordship, the still request for the documents with regard to the sale of the farm to be marked as an exhibit.
So before, maybe I can just indicate the source of the document.
Yes.
Okay, the document, we obtained it from Dr. Veder Kauta and Hoveka, legal practitioner's firm.
Okay.
Document is then marked as exhibit Y34.
As it plays a court. I believe the last page of that document should be at page 194, Your Lordship. All right. That document at page 195, what is that document?
Page 190. $190?
5 to 196 onwards. I think there are two numbers written. There's 195 under.
195. I don't have 195.
Do you have a page which is marked as Annexure B?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it is a 5. I thought it's an 8.
Okay. What is that document?
That document, this document is just written Annexure B.
And inside from page 186 onwards.
From page 196 onwards is email communication. Between John Olafson and Petrus Ashongo.
And what is the source
Sorry,
of
Mr. Ueitele.
your lordship?
I don't know with the other council, the document on my page 196 simply says project, and the next thing I see, it's me, M-E, and I don't know, and then there is as discussed.
As it plays the court, I think the witness was just explaining. I suppose it's not legible.
I trust so. Okay, if you can just look at how mine, if you can show it to all the council. I don't know if you, whether yours looks like mine. Show it to council.
It's the same a lot as you have indicated.
Indeed, my lord.
Yes, that's how it appears, your lordship. But insofar as this case is concerned, I don't think there's an issue with the witness explaining where this document was retrieved. I think there's just one part that is not so clearly legible, but that should not preclude the witness from testifying regarding this document. He can still explain where he retrieved this document and what the rest of the document that can be seen. He can read that into the record, your lordship.
My lord, in fact, I was about to rise as well to point out that it's one thing to suggest what the document means. If the witness is looking at the document and say, what is this document? Or read that document, then the witness must be limited to reading the contents of the document. If there are further questions emanating from that, they can be asked to the witness what he makes out of this, because now that is his own making. But if the witness says a document contains certain information which it doesn't contain, it really raises a lot of questions. But it's his own witness, and but I think it's a good point, my lord, that where the witness is reading what is contained, the contents of the document, the witness cannot really, with the creator's latitude, mislead, give information that is not coming from the document. I don't think that is proper. As it is.
My problem was that the witness was saying, this is an email from whom to
yes.
whom, and it's not reflecting on this document. That's what
Yes, that's our difficulty
Yes.
as well, my lord. Yes.
Mr. Litugeti?
Yes, your lordship, we don't have any issue with that. If it comes on with regard to what is reflected on the document, he can testify only on what is reflected, what the court can see. We don't have any issue with that. But he can also inform the court the source of the document.
Yeah, and where he got
that
the
is fine,
document.
and where he got the document from, your lordship.
All right.
No, with respect, my lord. I have a document in my possession, and I say, despite what the appearance is, that this is a document from Mr. A to Mr. B. And that document is incriminating, looked at in a particular way. Until I identify what the source of the document is and why I say it is a letter from A to B, it is not fair to the applicants to read into the record that which may be prejudicial to them. My difficulty, my lord, is it is assumed that the explanation that the witness gives will be an acceptable explanation for why he says the document is what, in this case, it doesn't even purport to be. It would be different, my lord, if there was how documents are reflected in emails and it's not clear where the email is from, he can say, well, we got it from Mr. A's computer, that's why we can assume that it's an email from him to whomever. But, my Lord, not in this case, where on the face of the document, it is not what it purports to be. It is not what the witness says it is. It would be different, as I say, my Lord, if it looked like an email. This is not an email. And I adopt a different approach to my learned friend for the fourth applicant, my Lord, because my attitude is until there is, and it doesn't have to be proven, but until we know and it's placed on record what the document is, it would be unfair to the applicants to read into the record the contents of this document, these documents. And it's not one, it's a whole series, my Lord.
Question.
Yes, Mr.
Yes, Your Lordship, I can rephrase the questions for the witness in order to address the concerns which have been raised.
All right, I'll allow you to rephrase, but just keep in mind, this witness is saying it's an email.
Yes, Your Lordship.
When this document doesn't show that at all.
Yes. As it pleases the court. Mr. Kanyangela, first and foremost, this document, what is the source of this document?
Okay, this document which is falling under Annexure B, is indicated as Annexure B, and is a document I will request that this document we should refer as one document, if the court may accept, based on my explanation. It's a document that was sourced from a report compiled by one of our investigator analysts from a cell phone that was confiscated or that was seized from Mr. James Atuikulipi when he was arrested. This is just part of the report, which is fall under Annexure B of the report. That's why I say.
So it's a document which you obtained from the cell phone of Mr. James Atuikulipi.
The information is a report compiled on the forensic done or on the analysis done from the cell phone of Mr. Atuikulipi.
Yeah, what I'm asking is, these documents were retrieved from the cell phone of Mr. Atuikulipi.
Yes, my lord.
So, which means you cannot now before court say it is an email from Johnson to Petrus Hashango, because it doesn't indicate that on this page that we are. All that you can tell the court is a document that you retrieve from the cell phone of Mr. James Atuikulipi.
Yes, my lord. That's why I said we must treat it as one document. Then I can now take to a court to some parts of this document of which I want to bring to the attention of the court.
I'll give you the opportunity to do so.
Thank you, my lord.
All right. Now, starting at page 196, can you just read what is contained in that particular page from his discussed?
On page 196, it reads as follows. The major issue is that Nangomal Pesca Namibia is only paid 500 Namibian dollars per ton usage fee, which is equivalent to 25% of 2,000 Namibian dollars. Balance paid outside. Second paragraph is saying, now we need to close that gap. That Asia, any entity in group, has a delivery of product, fish, to Nangomal Pesca Limitada, Angola, equivalent to 1,500 Namibian dollars per ton. This arrangement allows product into Angola and limited forex exposure. This is done via a third party into Angola, due to size 22 plus and fat content preference of Angola market. Find a trader within the network to generate papers of delivery.
Okay. And at the very bottom, what is the last sentence?
The last sentence saying, hope above makes sense.
And under that?
Sent from Yahoo Mail for iPhone.
Okay. And what is contained at the next page?
The next page is indicating on top project. The first paragraph.
Okay. Starting from where the J is indicated, the one which is highlighted in black, can you just indicate what is indicated there?
Okay, where the J is indicated, it is reads John Olafson. Then underneath it reads me. And the content, okay, this is clear. One question, is there any danger of the balance that was paid outside will be discovered? We don't want to create papers that talk about fish being delivered and then they find the money trail. Underneath there, the next paragraph is it's a message that was sent on 28 May 2019. And it said, Petrus Ashongo wrote,
the email address, is it provided there?
The email address is provided as petrus.ashongo@yahoo.com.
Okay. And then it says, what did Petrus... Okay. That's fine. I think we can move on to the next page.
Okay, on the next page, I just want to refer the quote.
Isn't this just a repetition?
Yes.
It's a repetition, my lord.
The first portion, you can leave out the first paragraph. Just go for the second paragraph. No, okay, no, it's fine. I don't think you've already dealt with this. At page 199.
Okay, page 199.
Four.
I'll just refer to the quote to the last paragraph,
Yes.
which is under me and John Olafson. The paragraph is saying, I don't think they can find outside payments. We have closed those accounts. Also, they don't have the capacity to go after complex transactions offshore.
And what's written under that?
Sent from Yahoo Mail for iPhone.
Okay. And at page 202, what is depicted there?
$202 on top, there is report 2017. Then the letter G. Then James Hatuikulipi. And under that, me.
Okay. Your Lordship, the State also request for this document to be submitted as an exhibit.
Exhibit Y35.
Yes, it is a court. Okay. Mr. Kanyangela, there was a request yesterday for you to indicate to the court where this document were obtained. If we can just go back to the exhibit marked as Y1. Can you start from there? Where did you obtain this document? This is a page 1.
The page 1. The page 1 is a document that was obtained from the Office of the District Prosecutor in Iceland.
And what about the other documents marked Y2, Y3, and Y4?
This document, they were also obtained from the same office.
Okay. And then the document at page 6.
The document at page 6 was obtained from Mr. Johannes Stephenson.
And the document marked Y5 at page 7. And its attachment.
This was also obtained from Mr. Johannes Stephenson.
And the document marked as Y6 at page 12. Just hold on. From page 12 to page 18.
Okay, these documents were is part of the report that Deloitte and Touche provided to the Anti-Corruption Commission, and the information were retrieved from the hard drive of Mr. Ricardo Gustavo.
All right, and the document marked as Y7 at page 19.
Page 19. It was retrieved from the same hard drive of Mr. Ricardo Gustavo.
Okay, and Y8 page 21.
It was also recovered from that hard drive of Mr. Ricardo Gustavo.
And Y9, page 31.
Page 31. Okay, this document was obtained from Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources.
Okay, and the next page, page 32, Y10.
It was also received from Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources.
And then the document marked as Y12 at page 33.
The document on page 33 was also obtained from Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources.
And Y14 at page 35.
The document on page 35, it was also obtained from Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources.
Y11 at page 36.
The document on page 36 was obtained from Dr. Abed Kawana.
All right, and there's Y, I believe this is 15 at page 73. Are you at page 73?
Yeah, I am there.
What's the source of
But
this
it
document?
seems there's one document that we jump off.
Which page is it?
Page 60.
60. Oh, yes. Where was that obtained?
This was obtained from the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources.
Oh, okay. And at page 73,
Sorry.
it's
My understanding, when the witness was testifying, was that under Exhibit Y11 on page 39, the document that stretches from page 39 up to page 72 are all under Exhibit Y11. It's under
what he, I don't want to testify for him, but when he referred to this document at page 60, he was referring to the memorandum which was in actual fact now signed by the parties.
page 60.
Yes, Your Lordship.
So that goes up to. Okay, okay.
But I think they were just submitted as one exhibit for all three, the agreement and the two memorandums.
So that document, the memorandum of understanding, was obtained from where?
The signed one was obtained from Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources.
Sorry, yes, we proceed.
As it please the court, Your Lordship. And then at page 73,
On page 73, the document was obtained from Mr. Johannes Stephenson.
okay. And then the document Y16 at page 81.
Okay, this document on page 81 was obtained from the Office of the District Prosecutor, Iceland.
Okay, and the next document at page 82.
The next document was obtained from the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources.
Okay, and at page 84, Y18.
It was also obtained from the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources.
Page 85, Y19.
The document was obtained from the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources.
Page 86, that one we marked it as Y13.
The document on page 86 was also obtained from the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources.
All right. And then the document at page 87, Y20.
It was also obtained from the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources.
Page 88, Y21.
The document was obtained from the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources.
Page 89, Y22.
The document was obtained from the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources.
And page 91, Y23. Page 91.
Page 91. This document was obtained from the Office of the District Prosecutor in Iceland.
And page 94.
Page 94. Page 94, the document was obtained from the Office of the District Prosecutor Iceland.
And at page 96, Y25.
Page 96, the document was obtained from Johannes Stephenson.
Page 106.
Okay, the document was obtained from Mr. Johannes Stephenson.
And page 122, Y26.
Page 126, the document was obtained from Johannes Stephenson. 26.
Yes. Y26, page 122. Page 122.
The document on page 122 mine doesn't have 122.
Yes, Mr. Lekibeti.
Your Lordship.
Exhibit Y27 is on page 120.
Yes, it's at page 120,
That's exhibit
Y27.
Y27. Did he
Yes.
indicate?
It's not indicated. Maybe I can just ask him. Page 120, Y27, where was that obtained?
The exhibit on 120 is just the one that I have said it was obtained from Johannes Stephenson.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have number 122. Unless maybe I can be advised as to what is it.
It's a document. Do you have an extra copy?
I also don't have a 122. I have a 121, and then it jumps to 123.
It's not numbered. It's not numbered, huh? So this was submitted. Is there a page before that, Your Lordship, which is marked?
121. You see, on page 121 is just acceptance in writing of the above quota allocation must reach my office on or before 31 December 2014. Ueitele Hivelo.
Yes, and the next document is the one which is marked as E57 at the top.
That the one on page one, the next page, on my file, it indicates as page 123, and it's Johannes Stephenson. It's an email from Johannes Stephenson to Ingvar Julusson or something like that.
Okay, yes, I think that is the email.
That according to my record, it's exhibit Y28.
Y28.
Yes.
Is it the one with which indicates sent from my iPhone, begin forwarded message?
Raham. That's his talking. Mr. Kashiponi. If you can just show it to all the council.
Yeah, it's that document. I think the number. I think it can.
Yes.
As it plays the court, do you have a document there? Just give me that one. All right, I can just give him that copy. Your Lordship will just give him our copy, just save time so that he does not have to look for the document. Just show the council the documents. Okay, you can. Okay. Yeah. There is that particular document there for Mr. Johannes Stephenson. What is the source of that document?
Is it exhibit Y28?
Yes, I saw that is how it's marked by the court as Y28.
Yes.
I
But,
do have the same document, just similar to this one, is only that it is not marked, doesn't have, but it's the same document. Okay, this document was obtained from the office of the district prosecutor in Iceland.
All right. At the next page, what document do you have there?
It's an email that came from Ramiz Muhammad to knife.branch@uaeexchange.com.
Oh, okay. And what is the source of that document?
Okay, this document was retrieved from the device of Mr. Ricardo Gustavo.
All right. At page 137. Page 137 and 138, there are two documents there. What is the source of those documents? Okay, just hold on. I think just deal with all.
Was this not covered yesterday?
I could not remember. He says I'll come back to that. Until page 141. What is the source of those documents? This will probably nice.
So these documents were
That's
also
exhibit Y29.
Yes, Your Lordship. All the way to Y31.
These documents were obtained from the Office of the District Prosecutor of Iceland.
Your Lordship, I believe for the rest of the documents, he has already covered them in his evidence. All right. Now, apart from this case that you referred to as the Namgoma case, were there any other investigations that were conducted in connection with this matter?
Okay, there was an investigation conducted which related to the appointment of Mr. James Atuikulipi, the appointment of Mr. Mike Ngipunya at Fishrot, as well as the quotas that were awarded to Fishrot by the Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources and government objectives, and we investigate payments made from those quotas by the Sameri Group, payments made by the Sameri Group for those quotas, since there was some agreement entered into between the Sameri Group companies and Fishrot and its subsidiaries. And how the accused persons did benefit from these quotas. This was quotas under government objectives that was given to Fishrot as well as to Namibia Fish Consumption Promotion Trust.
All right. From your investigations, how did this whole Fishrot scheme arise?
The Fishrot issue arises after the accused persons came up with a scheme or with a plan to have benefit from those quotas that the Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources is allocating. And they started this plan by appointing each other in main positions, which can give them access to the quota. Mr. James Atuikulipi was appointed as a chairperson of the board of Fishrot. The appointment that we came to find out, no, this appointment was not done procedurally. As it was done against what is provided in the Fiscal Act. He was appointed by former Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Mr. Bernard Esau. Instead of him being appointed by the Board of Directors, as per the provision of the Act, of the Fiscal Act, Mr. Mike Ngipunya was appointed first as an acting chief executive officer of Fishrot, or he was seconded, not appointed. Seconded from the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources to Fishrot. His appointment was also unprocedurally done, since this position was never advertised. No interview took place.
Can I quickly interrupt? I always prefer fact as evidence rather than legal conclusions. I am saying this because when a witness testifies and says Mr. James Hatui Kulipi was unprocedurally appointed, that's a conclusion of law. It's not a fact. It's for me to make a finding that the appointment is unprocedural. So give me the fact. I'm experiencing this almost on a daily basis in the court. And I use this example for legal practitioners and witnesses. When you say Shafi stole Lutubetzi's car, that's a conclusion of fact. If you want me to make a finding that Shafi stole a car, come to me and say, Shafi took a car, that car belonged to Lutubetzi. He did not have the permission of Mr. Lutubetzi to take the car, and he took it with the intention to permanently deprive Mr. Lutubetzi. Those are the facts that I require. And then I'll make a finding that Shafi stole. So, but when you just stand there and say to me, Mr. Hipunya or Mr. Hatui Kulipi were unprocedurally appointed, you are giving me nothing. So I just want to highlight that.
Yes, thank you.
Give me the facts so that I make my own finding and decision.
As you please, the court, your lordship. All right. Mr. Kanyangela, just testify on your factual findings insofar as this case is concerned. You testify that Mr. Hatui Kulipi was appointed by the minister.
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay. All right, now, since he was appointed by the minister, is there evidence as to how he came to be appointed by the minister? Just your factual findings.
My findings is that Mr. James Hatui Kulipi was not supposed to be appointed by the minister.
Just inform us as to how.
In terms of Section 6 of the Act.
Of which act?
Of the Fiscal Act. He was supposed to be appointed among the board of directors. The board of directors was the one who was supposed to appoint one among themselves to become a chairperson, and not the minister.
No, you see, no, Mr. Let me understand. The Act establishes a board.
Yes.
The Act establishes a board.
Yes.
And then the Act makes provision for the appointment of board members.
Yes.
Who appoints the board members? And what is the procedure for their appointment?
The procedure of the appointment is that the board of directors have to-
Remember, you see, I'm trying to help you. The Act makes provision for a board of directors, right?
Yes, my
Which
lord.
means once the Act created Fishco, it has made provision that Fishco will have a board of directors. So let's take it from the beginning. There's no board of directors. How can a non-existing body appoint members? So the Act makes provision for the appointment of members of the board. How are those members of the board appointed? And by whom?
the board members are appointed by the minister in consultation with the Council on Fisheries.
Okay, and insofar as this case is concerned, in terms of the Act, Fishco Act, who appoints the chairperson of the board?
The chairperson of the board,
Mr. Lutubeti, you are the one asking the question now. Who appoints? Is it, you see, I was a drafter. And normally when we drafted legislation, you say, there is a board. You are appointed as a board member. And then you are designated or nominated as a chairperson. You are appointed as a board member. Then I'm not saying this is what I'm saying. I'm saying from my understanding of the law. So I don't have the law here. You see, if you shouldn't testify. The witness mustn't testify to issues that I don't understand. So, are you appointed as a board member and also as a chairperson, or designated as a chairperson, or elected as a chairperson by your peers? Or how is the appointment? If I can just get that procedure.
Your Lordship, it was just from my recollection, unless I'm mistaken, because from my recollection, I remembered it being an appointment. But
I don't want us to guess.
I think it's better if we have reference to the Act
Yes,
itself.
because it's testimony, and you want to make me to make a finding, and I need to take up this with you, so that when I make a finding, I'll go back to the law and look at what the law. But it's just fair that I raise it with you, and you deal with it, rather than me dealing without having given you an opportunity to deal with it.
As it plays the court, Your Lordship.
Yes.
No, I think it's a fair request. We'll just look at the provision just to be 100% certain. Even if we can have just a short adjournment of 5 minutes.
I'll take a 5 minutes adjournment. Not 15 minutes is 11:25. We come back at 11:45.
As it plays the court, Your Lordship.